Hi, it's Alexis Hasselberger, time management and productivity coach. So, over the last few weeks, we have been talking all about habit strategies, strategies that don't require excess reserves of willpower or motivation, because those are fleeting resources we don't always have access to. We are talking science backed strategies that can help you build habits faster, with less effort, and that habits that will be more sustainable, that will be stickier in the end. And so I want to share today one of my favorite strategies, like I've been sharing, but this one works really well for me, and it works really well for a lot of my clients. Again, not every strategy is going to work for every person. So if you've tried some of these strategies and they don't work for you, no problem. There are other strategies to try. But this one is one that is near and dear to my heart. And this strategy is simply to schedule it. So let's talk about why this works and what it works for. So if you have particular habits that take a lot of time, right? So habits that you're trying to build that aren't just like, floss my teeth or drink a glass of water or something, but something that's going to take some time, half an hour or something like that. One of the best tools that you can use is your calendar, something you have access to already. And the reason for this is that these type of habits, the type of habits that take significant amounts of time, it's really easy for us to just kind of hope for the best, right? To say like, yeah, I'm going to try to exercise every day. And then you fall into bed and you're like, oh, damn, I didn't exercise today. I didn't have time, didn't feel like I had time, or ran out of time. And this will happen unless you make the time. Right? We don't just find time. We don't just like at the end of the day are like, oh, somehow I had all this extra time. Like that does not happen for most people. If it happens for you, I want to know your secrets. But for most of us, that doesn't happen. And so really we want to make sure that the things that we are trying to do that take time, that we are building in the time to make them happen. And so the way that I find is most useful for this is to just literally time block it on your calendar, right? So for me, for instance, I exercise every day, or rather, I try to exercise every day. I exercise most days, right? I am not perfect. Neither are you. None of us are. But I have a recurring calendar appointment every day at 4 p.m. that says exercise. Now, do I exercise at 4 p.m. every day? No, I do not. In fact, it is 4:12 p.m. right now, and I'm clearly not exercising, right? But what I do is every week when I'm doing end of week planning, I look at my calendar, I look at my task list, I look at the events, I look at what's going on, and I move that time block up and down on each given day, depending on where it makes sense. So, some days, great, I will go exercise at 4 p.m. That's the default. Other days, I'm like, you know what? I've got to drive my kid to soccer practice and do all this other stuff. I'm probably going to be exercising after dinner, right? Other days I might look at my calendar and say, you know what, the only time for me to make this happen is during lunchtime. So that's when I'm going to do it. And I'll plan for that. And every once in a while, I'm planning for the week and I look at my calendar and I say, you know what, there is no time for me to exercise on Tuesday. It's just not going to happen. And I know myself, if I put it at like 10 p.m., I'm definitely not going to do it, right? So if I look at the day and I say like, you know what, really there is just no time in here for me to exercise, then I remove it from that day because I'm not going to sit there and make myself feel bad about it when I knew I wasn't going to be able to do it anyways, right? And I make sure that there are enough days in the week where it does fit in. So that's exercise, right? Now, you might have other habits that you're trying to build. Another one for me is cooking dinner. I cook dinner from scratch every day. I love cooking. So, really, is it a habit or is it just a thing I really enjoy doing? I don't know, but it takes time. And so that's also on the calendar every day. I have a block from 6:30 to 7:30 about cooking dinner. Usually, sometimes dinner takes 15 minutes to make. Sometimes it takes an hour, just depends, but I blocked an hour because it might take an hour. And we usually eat around 7:30. So usually 6:30 to 7:30 is a good time for me to be cooking dinner. So I put that in there. Do I move it around? Yes, I do, based on what we're doing. If we're eating out one night, I remove it, right? But it's in there because it's helping me block my schedule, helping me know when I need to do things. Now, you might have other habits. Maybe you're trying to meditate. Maybe you are trying to learn the guitar, right? These are all things that take time. And so block that in your schedule, make time for it, because what'll happen is like you're used to showing up for what's on your calendar, right? A calendar is a tool for where do we show up and when to what things. And so you're doubling down on a strategy you're already using for something else. And you're also being really mindful of the time that you have available. So if you're looking at your day and you're like, look, I'm in back-to-back meetings and then I got to go pick up my kid and then we're having dinner and then, I'm going to a movie with my partner and I won't get home till 9:30, you're probably not going to exercise that day, right? Unless you did it in the morning. And maybe that works for you. Morning exercise never works for me, so I never schedule it in the morning. But morning exercise works really well for a lot of people, right? Maybe your default is in the morning, and if you can't do it in the morning, maybe you move it to sometime later in the day. But blocking the time on the calendar for the things that you want to do that will take time is going to make it more likely that they actually happen because you've planned for it. You've built that in instead of just hoping for the best. So this strategy of scheduling specifically for habits that take time, more than just a couple of minutes, this can be one of your best friends when it comes to actually making it happen. Now, if you have a habit where it actually takes more time than just doing the thing, let's say that you exercise by going to the gym, block the travel time too, right? Block all the time it takes to do the thing that you need to do. All right. Please subscribe if you like this type of content, if you want more strategies like this, if you want different ways to do things and ways that'll be easier for you to be able to do more and stress less. Well, I am here to help. So please make sure to subscribe, and then I will be here in your feed every single Monday.
Hey, video editor here. Just like you said, make sure to subscribe because we post almost every Monday, and only about 20% of you guys are actually subscribed. So it's a big help if you subscribe.